Hey, good day, everyone. This is just, I'll try to keep this short, a current uh, energetic update on what's occurring. So many of you at this time may be like dipping down, going back into, what you thought were old things that you had cleared and they come up. There's very important reasons for this. So any of you that are experiencing lower timeline things, feeling the lower vibration. With this current, uh, let's say, low density feelings, this is divinely orchestrated and it's for very important reasons at this time. Many of you are very quickly going to become leaders. All will become leaders in some shape and form for these new timelines. And we are in this now. It's currently happening. So what you need to look at, everything that is occurring with you, are last minute tests to put you into those leadership roles. For example, if you succumb to any of the fear and the lower density controls and restraints, you're unable to step into your full divine authority unaffected. So these tests are at your soul level and the divine plan level are assured, and they are occurring right now. And it's for to assist you into stepping into your divine authority for the leadership roles you will take, and to be unfettered from anything from the matrix or this outside world. And it's very easily, every one of you can see why these tests are very important at this time. All of us are very powerful. We are part of a very important mission here, a ground crew, and the time is here now. Again, since December 28th, we have brought in the new age, the new timelines, where everything in your reality is changing very rapidly and will no longer be the same. The controls of governments, the cabal, the darkness, that is all gone. We are in a transitional period, and we are the ones here to establish more firmly the new for these timelines. So nothing stops this. Nothing stops us. None of you can be killed. And for example, from time to time, you may see one that leaves, but they just ascend. No one is ever killed. And when you see one ascend, that is part of their soul contract to deliver information and also evidence for others that may be coming along to show them what is very real here. So when you have ones at many different stages and levels of awakening, these things, when it does occur, when a soul chooses to, let's say, leave in the form of the death process, it becomes very important documentation to leave behind. So rarely this does occur, and it needs to be understood and accepted that there is a very huge divine plan going on here, and none of us dies. The ones that are supposed to be here to do this stays here and does this mission, and the ones of us that ascends to the higher timelines when it's ready, we also do that. So this, what is occurring, is beyond the human scope of logic and rationale, belief, everything that you've been taught as the human. We are no longer human. We are integrating our divine authority within these physical bodies, within this incarnation, as many of you know. So it's very important to keep those things into your consciousness as much as you can and at all times. And of course, now when ones of you are dipped down, having lost tests. Now, also with these tests, it's very important for if it resonates with you, and if you're allowed to interfere to assist your comrades as well. This is about unity. It's about strength in numbers. It's about coming together as well. So these tests we have will be, let's say, ongoing, not on a regular basis, till about January 26th. Now, January 26th is also another important date. So having said this, not everyone, not all at once goes through these purging processes up until the 26th. It can be irregular. Some more of us may not need to do it. We're working on some higher levels. However, some of you may need to do it. We all make a difference, but we are not all doing the same things at the same time. However, we're working as a huge team, that certain things are being focused on here, certain things being focused on here, but it's all with the huge transition, what's occurring. Now, part of this current transmutation, transitioning process, what is ongoing up until the 26th, is that not only are we taking from the lower density realities, the negativity and the fear from the masses that were not equipped to and not informed and knowledgeable enough to transmute that negativity, the higher ones like you, we are doing this. And having said this, part of this changing the polarity of the energy is what you're actually doing within you. You are a machine that transitions this negative energy. So at this point, you're also why you're saying, like, I've already done this shit. Why is it coming back? Well, this is why, because you're working on a higher divine level where you're divinely, your field is energized to attract the negativity, to bring that in out of your reality, transition it, transmute it to love, to change the polarity from negative to positive. Now, there is also a consciousness component that is with this at this time as well. So, as always, it is always strongly encouraged to stay in your highest consciousness state. And this also holds true at this time. For some of you that are not dealing with the tests, it is most favorable to get together, have the higher consciousness conversations. You are powerful co-creators. And just by having a consciousness conversation together, it is reflected in the outside world. And it is reflected into the masses. So because we are so powerful as co-creators in our reality, a point that you can affect the consciousness of the masses on a much larger and very impressive, powerful level. So with this is occurring as well. So part of your purging process, changing the polarity of the energy and putting it into love. Some of you will be reconciling that negative energy to positive, and during that reconciliation period, you are adding onto it energetically the higher consciousness. So by doing this as well, you are putting the instructions out into the masses on how to do it. You are energizing this. You are integrating this process into this reality. For example, you take someone that's not awakened and begins, going through the negative things. What will occur? Boom, they'll have a eureka moment, for example. But it's caused by you, because you are the co-creator and you affect consciousness. So actually you are creating the eureka moments within these other individuals, within the masses. whereas you have gone through the experience, the problem, but you also created the solution. So the solution is there in the consciousness. So as co-creators, you are reflecting that outward, and telepathically, because someone's not awakened, they are picking up on this solution. And doing that, again, you can refer to it as someone having a eureka moment or a light bulb going off. However, it's more prevalent now on the consciousness level. And this sort of process has been ongoing, since 2012. We are affecting the reality at higher and higher rates with this. So this is part of the process to keep in mind. I don't wish to keep this so long. Another thing, over the course of doing this light work for all of the communities, there's been periods of separation. Some will say false light. These ones are false light, false prophets, things that separate it. Now, let me say, all of these, we are all together, even though there may be separation in the past within the consciousness spiritual community. In actuality, we are all together. And one of the reasons why these separations occurred, it's divinely orchestrated and coordinated, that we are working here on linear time at integrating and transitioning the reality. So heaven said this: if we were all to remain together, and if there wasn't these divinely assured separations, we would just change reality at such a huge rate. Now, this is not divinely allowed for one reason. There are many souls here that are having an experience, and it has to go this way, transitioned. So having said this, at times when groups were, getting bigger, becoming very powerful, and affecting reality in huge ways, it's divinely ensured that they're broke down a little bit and they are regulated divinely. So this was in the past to let you know what was going on there. So because not so quick, this is, again, is a transitional period. Many things needed to play out over the last 7 years or so. And one of the reasons is we are dealing with the beliefs upon the surface here. We need to transition the beliefs and take the negative, deceptive areas out of them. And this is part of a process. And it's a very complex process, what is divinely occurring. However, I don't wish to get into all of that, and wish to keep this very short and to the point, what is currently happening. So again, I have touched on most of this. Also, I wish to say, as a result of this, as many of you know, your powers have become much stronger. Your etheric divine connections are opening up. There are many new gifts that are coming online for you, even though you will not immediately have all the information what your new gifts and powers are. You work through them, you experience them, and you build them, and you develop them. However, you are equipped with superhuman powers right now. It's a term you can use them as. And again, they are for all good intent, is why this is occurring. And it's occurring again as a result of December 28th, when the new timeline was activated that allows also for all of these gifts to be turned on because of the higher overall frequency of this reality, the vibration that we have created. So your divine gifts are directly attuned and coordinated to the frequency, to the vibration. As all of you know, the more we raise the planetary vibration, the more of your gifts, more of your memory comes back, and with your memory also the gifts and the tools that we have here to change reality very quickly. And again, we are above all of that in that outside world, and you need to own your good ego, your identity, your divine authority. You need to be out there. You need to put yourself out there to assist in the good ways that we are. So this is no time, again, for anyone to say that, you know, I'm just sitting here holding space. I don't put myself. This is about. We need everyone at this time, as you become stronger and in your leadership roles, making more of an impact in your outside reality you are seeing here. So this affects, causes, and affects rapid change within that reality. And we don't stop, as many of you know. We don't stop in the sense that we don't let things circle back. It's always a forward movement with us, and there's always new, more powerful and good things that come with it as we keep raising up. So very important times, and the most auspicious times yet, I will say. So, you know, this is just a little bit to inform you why current things are happening with you and what is actually going on. And again, we are being prepared for even higher magic yet, beyond anything that you have ever seen in your human existence here, in your human life. And I know some of you have already, in the least some of you, but it should have been all since December 28th, have been seeing more and more magic and you know, more and more confirmations that it is true, because we're taking, the confirmations have become so prominent and prevalent as well, because what we are doing, we're taking out the last fragments of doubt that you may have, of questioning, because that is fear, and you transition that into the trust. So you instill the trust in what you are and your connection to Creator and what your divine mission is here. And the more you trust, the more clarity that comes with us, that in your consciousness opens and you receive more of your guidance directly to you. You don't need anyone telling you what to do. You are connected straight to Creator. Now, this is not to say that we have ones that assist, like that some of us are at times liaisons between Creator and another to assist them. And this is what it is. We are all together and we are assisting each other. There are different levels with this, and we know that. However, we assist all of our brothers and sisters, our comrades, in this, and knowing that there is, you know, at the end of the day, we are all free beings. We are no teachers anymore. However, during the course of doing this, there are teachers out there to create the other teachers, and once teachers are no longer required, we're all free as well. However, again, it's a process, and part of the reason why there are teachers all around Gaia in many areas is because there is a divine plan that assures a transition with this. And we have so many, again, so many levels of one's awakening, you know, first wave, third wave, fourth wave, what have you, and not everyone is on the same level of consciousness and with perspective. So during the transition, those of you that are right up there, you reach back to your comrades that may be just awakening, and you share and purvey with them everything that they're open to get to help them rise with us as well. And once we're all risen and in unity together, again, that is very powerful, and it is part of the overall divine plan. It's part of the reason why we're here. It's part of the reason all of this is happening with each individual and with the overall collective. So again, anyone new watching, this stuff is irrefutable, undeniable, and it is the truth. And as you breach the confines of the human logic and rationale, and when you enter into the truth of divinity and what you really are, it becomes more and more clear what is occurring, and it also becomes more clear that you have a purpose in life and that you have a mission, and you begin to open up to more of your own, and with your connection with Creator, and how you will contribute here to this ascension and the transitioning of humanity into a civilized state in the least. So everyone is very important. Everyone has specific divine tasks. Although there may appear to be separation at times, we are not separated for all we are. It's just that ones have different divine tasks at those linear times, and they're not to be distracted by other information. All information is correct. However, there are certain things that are done with this design that even though this information over here is correct, it cannot be entered to this at that time because it changes a process that needs to occur here as well. So everything is very cool. It's very delicately, divinely orchestrated and assured. And it is very complex, the overall divine plan, and we don't need to know all of that. We only need to know what our immediate guidance is and where we're going, and it makes it much simpler to follow that, what you're guided to do as well. So great things currently happening. Hang in there, gang. Having said that, at the end of this, anyone watching, dear brother Neil Devaney, anyone that can offer some assistance there with his current circumstance, that would be greatly appreciated by him and of course all of us. And if there's any others, you know, that are down there that do need a little bit of assistance, please don't hesitate and assist them. It's again, you know, it's important. Everything is divine, what is occurring, you know, but also there is that support that's divinely assured. At times, it's not an interference with the soul's tests at times, that meaning that what I've seen in the past with a few divine comrades, you know, they had needed things, and it was divinely assured that I did not interfere. I had wanted to assist them. I had money and things, and it was blocked, and I was told no, that I could not interfere with their process at that time because it would change what they did in the future. And it was very important that if I was to assist, it would have kept them in a place of a little bit more comfort zone when they were divinely scheduled to move into a different direction. So we're not allowed to cause complacency and comfort sometimes. And this is not cruel. Out of the compassion of our hearts, we wish to do this. However, there is a higher divine plan that takes the priority sometimes. So just letting you know that. So again, I love you all, and of course, we love each other. Just looking at this is important. So Theo Sentius, Papa George, so tired, but pushing forward with alchemizing everything in my reality to the 0 point. Thank you. Now, this is so important during this time up until the 26th. If you feel you become too inundated during that purging process for the collective, this is a, excuse me, this is a very good point. One thing that can assist you is just sit, perhaps like this, just detach from the whole reality, bring yourself right to the now moment, saying that nothing out there matters at all. Just bring yourself to the now moment, see where you are at in the now moment, meaning that you don't need anything, that you are here in this now moment and you are functioning, and clear your consciousness just from the chatter, from the fears. Bring yourself just into the now with no emotion. Just clear your consciousness, and then you will begin to receive some more direction from your higher self, if you wish, or from the etherics. And what this does, you connect into your inner knowing of what to do, the highest things to do at this time, so you can overcome this part of the process much quicker. So thank you with that, Teo, and it does assist. Also, the infamous saying F it, but saying the full word, F-U-C-K, it, out loud 3 times, out loud, and if you're very dense, and just watch what it does to your field. And by doing that, also it separates very the memories and the attachments to the current reality, and it gives you a very rapid, quick area to get your focus, and shake your head and just sit, and it raises you above what is currently happening, and it connects you back to your higher consciousness. So I do practice it in the past a few times because I love the effectiveness of it. It's saying, F it out loud 3 times. And it is very effective if we need it. And having said that, whatever works, use it. Except, I have to say, don't use illicit drugs or alcohol. It's not for us. I need to say that. The lower levels of, some organic marijuana will assist a lot of you. And of course, some cigarettes, some things on the lower scale of altering the mind. This is why it's so important. And much more, like alcohol, as you know, and drugs, synthetic drugs, they alter the thought process so much, and it will take you out actually of your higher consciousness that is connected with divinity, and it puts you like in another place, as many of you know. And also when for the higher ones of you that are evolved in certain ways, if you're to resort to outside things to assist you, like alcohol or illicit drugs, what you actually do is just generate a much more negative field, and then you will attract more things towards you that you need to contend with, or that you don't need to contend with, but you make yourself like a magnet as well. So I need to put that out there. But the simple things that doesn't alter the thought process, like cigarettes and some marijuana, something mild is okay. But I strongly suggest don't go into any alcohol or drugs, if you will, and of course any medications, pharmaceuticals from doctors. We don't need any of that, and again, they can be mind altering, but they also dumb down your divine senses in your physical vessel, and it prolongs things that need to occur. So good. Whew. We did it, and we're doing more of it. So love you all, and of course I'm at Rosalind Beth Harowitz, and we'll be doing it live together in the near futures. Another powerful divine comrade, and to share what she is doing, and also she's putting herself out there for all, like Michael and Tao, that I put some info out to show that they're there to assist, and of course Shelly, I the other day put out some info that she's there because we're all the teachers, and all coming together to empower each other with everything that we have at this time. And having said that, we all have pieces of the puzzle here. And this is also why it's so important to collaborate and come together. And also in the physical, your energetic fields, its codes and what have you is transitioned much quicker in the physical. Your energetic fields go upward in the past, or just operating on a regular level, can, dependent upon your energized level, affects outward, perhaps highest 8 meters. So in the physical, however, if you can see, being on a phone thousands of miles away, yes, there is some energetic interaction, but it's not like being in the physical as well. So gatherings, again, still encouraged with that. And having said this, I'm beginning to get some more divine direction. I'm still in Israel. I was on a waiting mode. I have had beautiful, I had anticipated, and it was, let's say, it was divinely approved that I could have went back over to the U.S. where I wanted to go for a month to rest. However, because of certain things coming up, and where I do have some free will here, it just did not work at that time. And as a result, just this morning, in speaking with Father and Council, I do have some more guidance onto what I do next, and hopefully Sharon will be rejoining I shortly. She was back in New York taking care of her family business, her detachment processes as well, and I feel her and I will be together soon, and taking on a higher mission as a team, a divine union, also as a team at doing some of this. I'm not given fully that will be the case. I'm not divinely given it, but however, I do feel it very strongly, and we've been at least talking about this, and so it's very, very good, of course, and others, you may be doing the same things, taking on the higher roles and moving around Gaia and meeting with others as well. Having said this, Simon and Aldora, two beautiful divine comrades, very powerful. Likewise, I believe they're in Thailand right now, and They are creating great magic together, but creating not just magic for themselves, for the collective, sharing it out, getting the information out, and also energetically being in geographical areas. This does play a role with this whole ascension. As many of you know, you've been called different areas to do energetic work. It's important. It's not just by a whim that you're called there. And likewise with I get called to certain areas. So this is an important part of the game, if you will, the ascension game. And any of you that get called to go anywheres, do not hesitate, is what I suggest. Once you put your intent towards there, you'll see the doors very quickly open up uh, that you know that that is the direction you're supposed to take in the least. So great, good. Okay, listen, I gotta go. I love you all. Have a beautiful day, night, morning, wherever you may be, and I'll have more things coming out on this timeline. So, woohoo! Beautiful, awesome. Love you, love and light.